Welcome to a deep dive into something you interact with every single day, often without a second thought. Your hair and scalp.
It's true, we gotta take it for granted, don't we?
We really do. You might think you know it, but get ready. We're about to unpack some truly surprising facts and essential insights that will genuinely change how you look at yourself.
Hmm.
Our mission today is to transform you into someone who's not just informed, but genuinely fascinated by this intricate world of hair, its incredible structure, its hidden secrets, and, well, what's really happening when things don't quite go as planned.
Yeah, the Orion moments.
Exactly. We'll be drawing from a stack of incredible sources, everything from classic barbering textbooks to, modern expert discussions, to give you a true shortcut to being well informed.
What's truly remarkable here, I think, is that understanding your hair isn't just about how you look. It's really about recognizing fundamental biological processing
Mhm.
and even subtle indicators of your overall health. We're going to dive into how hair works at a microscopic level, and more importantly, why that molecular dance matters for its health, its appearance, and even your well-being.
Okay, let's unpack this from the ground up then, starting with the hidden world beneath your skin. We typically only see the hair shaft, that visible strand.
The part we style.
Yeah, but the real magic and the actual living part of your hair, it all begins in what's called the hair root.
Right, so imagine a tiny tube-like pocket embedded in your skin or scalp. That's the hair follicle.
Okay.
It's distributed almost everywhere on your body, except for your palms and the soles of your feet.
Right.
And it extends deep down from the surface, the epidermis, into the dermis, the lower layers of your skin.
And nestled right at the bottom of that follicle is the hair bulb. It's kind of club-shaped.
Exactly, club-shaped structure. And it's actually hollow at its base, almost like a little cap, fitting perfectly over something vital called the dermal papilla.
Ah, the dermal papilla. I've heard that mentioned.
Oh yeah, some even call it the mother of the hair, and honestly, for good reason.
Why is that?
Well, it's a small cone-shaped elevation right at the base of the follicle, and it's packed with crucial blood and nerve supplies. This is the life support system. It feeds your hair all the nutrients it needs to grow.
So, no papilla, no hair, basically.
Pretty much. Without it, you simply wouldn't have hair growing from that follicle.
Then we have these tiny sebaceous glands, like little sacs attached to each follicle. They secrete sebum, right? That oily stuff.
That's it. Sebum, it lubricates your skin and gives your hair its natural luster and pliability.
Ever wonder why your hair feels oily sometimes? I always assumed it was just products.
Well, products can play a role,
Yeah.
but factors like your diet, yeah, overindulging in sweet, starchy, or fatty foods can contribute also blood circulation, emotional stress, even your endocrine glands.
Hormones.
Definitely hormones. And certain medications, like some for high blood pressure, can all influence how much sebum your scalp produces. Quite complex.
And here's a fun one I read about. The erector pili muscle.
Ah, yes, the goosebump muscle.
Exactly. It's this minute, involuntary muscle fiber attached to the base of the hair follicle.
And this tiny muscle is the culprit behind goosebumps. When you're cold or, feel a strong emotion, it contracts, making your hair stand straight up.
It's wild. But interestingly, eyelashes and eyebrows don't have this muscle.
Nope, they don't. A little anatomical quirk.
So we've explored the hidden foundations, the stuff under the skin, but let's shift focus to the part you actually see and style every day, the hair shaft itself.
Okay.
What's it truly made of, and why does it look and feel the way it does?
Right. So the visible part of your hair, the shaft, has three distinct layers. Each plays a critical role in its health and appearance.
3 layers. Okay.
The outermost layer is the hair cuticle. Think of it like shingles on a roof.
Okay, overlapping.
Exactly. A single overlapping layer of transparent, scale-like cells. This is your hair's primary defense. It protects the inner structures and is what gives your hair its natural shine and silkiness.
So healthy cuticle equals shiny hair.
Generally, yes. And when you use chemical solutions or heat, these scales can actually lift up slightly, which allows products to be absorbed.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. And right beneath that protective shield is the cortex.
Precisely, the cortex. This is the middle layer, a dense, fibrous protein core. And it's incredibly important because it accounts for about 90% of the total weight of your hair.
Wow, 90%. That's most of it.
It really is. This protein structure provides your hair's strength, its elasticity, how much it stretches, and its natural color.
So the color pigment is in the cortex.
That's right. And any significant changes you make to your hair with chemical services, like perms or relaxers, those are happening right here
Yeah,
within the cortex.
gotcha. In the third layer.
Finally, we have the medulla. That's the innermost layer composed of round cells. It's quite interesting. This layer might actually be absent in very fine or naturally blonde hair.
Really? So not everyone has it.
Not necessarily in every hair strand, no.
Yeah.
Though it's typically present in coarser hair, like
Uh-huh.
mature male beard hair, usually contains a medulla.
Okay, so structure covered. But it's almost mind-boggling to think about hair actually growing. It's not just static.
Absolutely not. It's a continuous journey of growth and renewal.
Before we get to its life cycle, though, let's talk core composition. What is hair truly made of at a chemical level?
Okay, chemistry time. Think about this. The hair you see is essentially 90% solid protein.
90% protein, okay.
And the process that makes it is called keratinization. Living cells form deep in the hair follicle, and as they mature, they fill up with a specific fibrous protein called keratin.
Keratin, right? I know that word.
Yeah, it's key. As they fill with keratin, they lose their nuclei, and they essentially die as they move upward, pushed out of the follicle.
So wait, the hair we see isn't actually living.
Correct. By the time the hair shaft emerges from your scalp, it's completely keratinized and non-living. This means the hair you style, color, and treat isn't living tissue.
That fundamentally changes how we think about hair health, doesn't it?
It really does. True health is about nurturing the root, the living part, and protecting that non-living fiber, the shaft, from damage.
Okay. And speaking of protein, it's built from amino acids.
Exactly. Tiny chemical units called amino acids. The essential elements making up human hair are carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and sulfur.
The CoAGA-NS elements, I remember that acronym.
That's the one, COHNS. They're also vital components of your skin and nails, by the way.
Right, so these amino acids link together.
They do. They link together end to end in very specific order using super strong chemical bonds called peptide bonds.
Peptide bonds.
Strong, you say. Extremely strong. Think of them as tiny, almost unbreakable welds. They form long chains called polypeptide chains.
Polypeptide chains. Yeah.
And these chains don't just lie flat. They twist and coil into this beautiful spiral shape, like a miniature spring.
A helix.
Precisely, a helix. And that coiled structure is what gives your hair its fundamental structure and, well, a lot of its inherent strength.
So, if hair is mostly protein and these complex chains, how does it get its incredible strength and flexibility? Why does it behave the way it does when wet or styled?
Ah, great question. That's where the side bonds of the hair cortex come in.
Tiny bonds.
Yes. Millions of these polypeptide chains are cross-linked by 3 different types of side bonds within the cortex. These are absolutely critical. They account for your hair's strength and elasticity.
And they're involved in styling and chemical stuff?
Totally. They're why styling and chemical processes work. First, you have hydrogen bonds.
Okay.
These are weak, physical cross-links, easily broken by just water or heat. They actually account for about 1/3 of your hair's overall strength.
So that's why wetting your hair changes its shape.
Exactly. A quick mist of water can completely undo a hairstyle because it breaks those hydrogen bonds. But then, conveniently, they reform when your hair dries.
Which is why blow drying works to set a style, like a temporary reset button.
Get it. Temporary reset. Then we have salt bonds.
Salt bonds, also weak.
Also weak physical side bonds, yes. But these react to changes in pH. So strong acidic or alkaline solutions easily break them. They account for another 1/3 of the hair's total strength.
Okay, hydrogen and salt bonds. What's the third?
And finally, the big ones, the disulfide bonds, also known as sulfur bonds.
Disulfide. These sound stronger.
They are. They're strong covalent bonds, chemically different from the physical hydrogen or salt bonds. They are not broken by normal heat or water.
Ah, so perms and relaxers must target these.
Bingo. Permanent waves and chemical relaxers fundamentally alter these disulfide bonds to change the hair's shape permanently, or semi-permanently.
Can anything else break them, like extreme heat?
Yes, extremely high heat, like from a very, very hot flat iron, can actually break disulfide bonds. And here's a key point. Disulfide bonds broken by hydroxide relaxers are permanently altered. They cannot be reformed.
Wow, okay, so that's a permanent change.
It is. And the more disulfide bonds your hair has naturally, the more resistant it is to these kinds of chemical processes.
So, with all this intricate chemistry, the bonds, the protein, what does it mean for the natural look and feel of your hair? You know, its color, its texture.
Right, let's connect the chemistry to what we see. Your natural hair color is the result of melanin pigment found within that cortex layer we talked about.
Melanin, like in skin.
Exactly. There are 2 main types in hair. Eumelanin gives hair its brown and black color,
Okay.
and pheomelanin is responsible for the natural hair colors ranging from red and ginger all the way to yellow and light blonde tones.
So different mixes give different shades. What about gray hair?
Interestingly, gray hair contains only a few scattered melanin granules, and white hair, quite simply, contains no melanin at all. It's the absence of pigment.
Makes sense. And the natural wave pattern, straight, wavy, curly.
That refers to the shape of the hair strand itself. Straight, wavy, curly, and extremely curly. These patterns are primarily down to genetics.
Is it the shape of the follicle?
That's part of it. But the most popular theory relates to the shape of the hair's cross-section as it grows. A round cross-section usually means straight hair.
An oval.
An oval shape leads to wavy or curly hair. And a flattened or irregular oval shape typically results in extremely curly hair.
Interesting. And does that affect the hair's properties?
Oh, definitely. For example, extremely curly hair often grows in long, twisted spirals. It frequently has a fine texture, but paradoxically low elasticity, meaning it breaks more easily and tends to knot more.
Okay. You also mentioned hair types, vellus and terminal.
Right. We have two main types on our bodies. Think of zealous hair, sometimes called lanugo hair, as that soft, almost invisible peach fuzz.
Like on your face or arms.
Exactly. It's short, fine, unpigmented. It plays subtle roles, like helping perspiration evaporate.
And terminal hair.
That's the long, coarse, pigmented hair found on your scalp, legs, arms, and bodies. Hormonal changes, especially during puberty, cause a lot of that fine, vellus hair to be replaced by coarser terminal hair.
Right, like beards or underarm hair. Okay. It's still kind of mind-boggling, though, thinking hair isn't just there. It's on this constant journey. Growth and renewal.
It really is fascinating. A continuous cycle.
So how exactly does our hair grow? What are these stages or cycles?
Hair growth occurs in predictable cycles, yeah. 3 distinct phases that repeat throughout your life.
And it grows about half an inch a month, is that right?
On average, for healthy scalp hair, yes, about half an inch or 0.5 inches per month. Though that rate can differ quite a bit depending on the body part, your sex, race, and even your age.
Okay, so what's the first phase?
The first phase is the anagen phase. This is the growth phase. New hair is actively produced here. Cells are manufacturing faster than almost any other normal cell in the body during this phase.
Wow, how much hair is in this phase?
About 90% of your scalp hair is in the anagen phase at any given time. And it generally lasts from 3 to 5 years, though. Remarkably, it can extend up to 10 years for some people.
10 years. So the length of this phase determines how long your hair can actually grow.
Precisely. Longer anagen phase equals potentially longer hair.
Okay, after anagen comes.
Next is the catagen phase. This is a very brief transition phase. Only lasts about 1 to 2 weeks.
What happens then?
During this short time, the follicle shrinks significantly, the hair bulb detaches from the dermal papilla and disappears, and the shrunken root end forms a rounded club. Less than 1% of your hair is in this phase at any moment.
Just a quick transition. And the final phase.
And finally, the telogen phase, or resting phase. This is the final stage, lasting about 3 to 6 months.
Resting. Does it just sit there?
Pretty much. The hair shaft is fully formed and rests in the follicle. It eventually sheds or simply remains until it's pushed out by a new anagen hair growing underneath it.
So that's the shedding we notice.
Exactly. Less than 10% of scalp hair is normally in this telogen phase. After this, the entire growth process, anagen, catagen, telogen, repeats itself. The whole cycle takes about 4 or 5 years on average.
So shedding is normal then? How much?
Oh, absolutely normal. Losing an average of 75 to 100 hairs per day is perfectly standard. Don't panic if you see hair in your brush.
Phew. Good to know.
And as a fun fact, your eyebrow hairs and eyelashes cycle much faster. They're replaced every 4 to 5 months or so.
Wow. Okay. And what about patterns? Like whorls or cowlicks?
Right. Beyond the growth cycles, your hair also has natural growth patterns. These are determined by the angle the hair emerges from the follicle. A hair stream is when hair flows consistently in the same direction.
Like how my hair parts naturally.
Exactly. If you see 2 streams flowing opposite each other, that often forms a natural part. A whorl is hair that grows in a circular or twirl pattern. You often see them at the crown.
I think I have one of those. And a cowlick.
A cowlick is that stubborn tuft of hair that insists on standing straight up, usually right at the front hairline. Can be tricky to style.
Tell me about it. You know, speaking of hair growth, there are so many common beliefs out there that just aren't true. We should bust some myths.
Oh, definitely. Let's do it. What's the first one?
Like the idea that shaving makes hair grow back faster, darker, and coarser. Everyone seems to think that.
That's a classic. But the fact is, shaving has absolutely no effect on the rate of growth, the color, or the thickness of the hair follicle itself.
So why does it seem like it does?
It only appears thicker or coarser because shaving cuts the hair shaft bluntly, straight across. So instead of a tapered, softer end, you get this blunt edge, which feels stubblier as it grows out. It just looks more uniform.
Ah, okay. Makes sense. What about scalp massage increasing hair growth?
Another common one. And while scalp massages feel amazing, they are incredibly stimulating, they boost blood circulation, relax nerves, all good things for scalp health.
But
But they haven't actually been scientifically proven to directly increase the rate of hair growth itself. Good for the scalp environment, yes. Miracle growth cure, not proven.
okay. Or the myth that gray hair is somehow coarser and more resistant than pigmented hair. I hear that a lot.
Yeah, that's a persistent one. But chemically and structurally, apart from lacking pigment, gray hair is exactly the same as pigmented hair from the same person.
So if it feels resistant, it's not just because it's gray.
Correct.
Hmm.
Any resistance to chemical services, for example, is due to its inherent structure, like a tightly packed cuticle, not simply because it lacks melanin.
Got it. And one more. The idea that the amount of natural curl is always determined by racial background.
Right. While genetics play a huge role, and certain hair types are more prevalent in certain populations, the truth is, anyone of any race can have hair texture ranging anywhere from dead straight to extremely curly.
So it's not a strict rule.
Not at all. And curl patterns can even vary on different areas of the same person's head. You might have tighter curls underneath and looser waves on top, for example.
Fascinating. So we've talked about what's normal, the cycles, the structure. But what happens when things, well, don't go as planned, especially with hair loss?
Yeah, that's a really significant topic.
The emotional impact can be profound. Consider this. Over 63 million men and women in the United States suffer from abnormal hair loss.
That's a huge number.
It is. And almost 40% show some degree of hair loss by the age of 35. Studies have even shown, and this is tough, that bald men are often perceived as less physically attractive, less assertive, less successful, less personally likable.
Wow.
And on average, 5 years older than their actual age. It really highlights why professionals like barbers are often the first people confided in about this. Their basic understanding is truly crucial.
Absolutely. It requires sensitivity and knowledge.
Yeah.
So this brings us to understanding what exactly is abnormal hair loss and what forms does it take.
Right. What's the technical term?
The technical term for any abnormal hair loss is alopecia.
Alopecia. Yeah.
The most common type by far is androgenic alopecia. This is the hair loss primarily driven by a combination of genetics, age, and hormonal changes.
Male pattern baldness is this type.
Yes, in men, it's widely known as male pattern baldness. It involves terminal hair, the thick, pigmented hair gradually converting back to fine, short, vellus hair. It often progresses to that characteristic horseshoe-shaped fringe around the sides and back.
Can it happen early?
It can. This condition can even begin quite early, sometimes in the teens or early 20s. That form is known as alopecia prematura.
Okay. What other types are there?
Then there's alopecia areata. This is a fascinating and often distressing autoimmune disorder.
Autoimmune, like the body attacking itself.
Exactly. Your own immune system mistakenly attacks the hair follicles, abruptly stopping hair growth right in the anagen phase.
What does that look like?
It's typically characterized by the sudden falling out of hair in distinct, smooth, round patches, sometimes small, sometimes larger.
That sounds stressful.
It really can be. If you or someone you know experiences this sudden patchy loss, it's definitely a condition where clients should be referred to a physician for diagnosis and potential treatment.
Good advice. Are there more extreme versions?
Yes. To give you a broader picture, we also see alopecia totalis, which is the total loss of all scalp hair.
Wow, everything on the head.
Yes. And even more extensive is alopecia universalis, which leads to the complete loss of all body hair, scalp, eyebrows, eyelashes, everything.
That must be incredibly difficult.
Extremely. There's also alopecia senilis, which is simply the normal, permanent hair thinning and loss that naturally occurs in old age. It's part of the aging process.
Okay. And one more, syphilitica.
Right. Alopecia syphilitica is hair loss caused specifically by syphilis. The good news here is the hair usually grows back once the underlying disease is successfully treated.
Okay. So for those experiencing hair loss, particularly the common androgenic alopecia, what are the proven solutions? What actually works?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Currently, there are only 2 treatments that have been scientifically proven through rigorous studies to stimulate hair growth and are approved by the FDA for hair loss.
Only 2. What are they?
The first is minoxidil. You probably know it by brand names like Rogaine. It's a topical treatment, a liquid or foam, you apply directly to the scalp twice a day.
And that's over the counter.
Yes, it's available over the counter for both men and women. It can help slow loss and sometimes regrow some hair, mainly on the crown area.
Okay, and the second one?
The second is finasteride. Brand name Propecia is common. This is an oral prescription medication, and it's strictly for men only.
How does it work?
It works by blocking the hormone conversion linked to male pattern baldness. It's generally more effective than minoxidil in slowing hair loss and can stimulate new hair growth, particularly on the top and front.
But there are downsides.
There can be. It's important to know that the hair loss often returns if you stop taking the medication. And potential side effects can include things like weight gain and, for a small percentage of men, a loss of sexual function or desire. So it requires a doctor's consultation.
Definitely something to discuss with a physician. Okay. So that covers hair loss. But beyond that, there are other common disorders that affect the hair shaft itself, right? Not the follicle losing hair, but the hair strand having issues.
Exactly. Things affecting the hair fiber.
Yeah.
Candidase, for instance, is just the technical term for gray hair.
Oh, okay. Just gray hair.
Yep. When it's congenital candidase, it means it's present at or before birth, often seen as part of albinism. Acquired candidase simply develops with age and is generally genetic. Nothing really wrong with it, just a lack of pigment.
Right. What about excessive hair growth?
That condition is called hypertrichosis, sometimes also referred to as hirsutis. It's basically abnormal hair growth characterized by terminal hair, that thick, coarse hair appearing on areas of the body normally covered only with fine vellus hair.
Okay. And split ends. Everyone gets those.
Ah, yes, the bane of long hair. The technical term is trichoptilosis.
Trichoptilosis. Fancy.
Isn't it? And while conditioning treatments can temporarily smooth the cuticle down and make them look better, the only way to truly get rid of split ends is to cut them off above the split.
Snip, snip. Got it. Any others?
A couple more less common ones. Monolithrix is the technical term for beaded hair. The hair shaft literally looks like it has little beads or nodes along it.
Beaded. Weird. Does that cause problems?
It does. The hair is very fragile and breaks easily right between those beads or nodes. And then there's fragilitas cranium.
Sounds like fragile.
Exactly. It's the technical term for brittle hair. Hairs may split at any point along their length, not just the ends. They just snap easily.
Okay, so we've covered the hair itself quite a bit, but the scalp is truly the foundation for healthy hair, isn't it?
Absolutely critical. Understanding common scalp conditions is just as vital as knowing about the hair.
And this is where a barber or a stylist's role becomes really important, right? Identifying things before a service.
Oh, hugely important. What's fascinating here is how crucial that pre-service scalp analysis is. A good professional needs to recognize potential issues. One really common condition they look for is pityriasis.
Pityriasis.
Yeah.
What's that in plain English?
That's the technical term for dandruff.
Not dandruff. Okay.
It's characterized by the excessive production and accumulation of skin cells on the scalp. Flakes.
What causes it? Is it just dry skin?
Not exactly. While it might seem like a simple dryness issue, it's actually caused primarily by a fungus, a yeast called Melissetia.
A fungus on my head.
Yep. It's naturally present on basically all human skin, perfectly normal. But sometimes, for various reasons, it can grow out of control and irritate the scalp, leading to increased cell turnover and those flakes.
What makes it grow out of control?
Factors like stress, age, hormones, and even poor hygiene can sometimes worsen the symptoms or trigger flare-ups.
Is it contagious?
It's generally not considered contagious, no, because the yeast is already present on most people. But barbers are always meticulous about thoroughly cleaning and disinfecting their tools and implements between every single client as a standard safety precaution.
Good practice. Are there different kinds of dandruff?
Yes, a couple of main types to be aware of. Pityriasis capitis simplex is what most of us think of as classic dandruff.
The white flakes.
Right. Scalp irritation, those familiar large, dry white flakes, and usually an itchy scalp. It's annoying, but generally manageable with dandruff shampoos.
Okay. And the other type?
A more severe form is pityriasis steatoids. This involves greasy or waxy, yellowish scales that are often mixed with sebum, the scalp's natural oil. These scales tend to adhere to the scalp in noticeable patches.
Greasy flakes. That sounds worse.
It can be. When this type is accompanied by redness and inflammation, it's actually called seborrheic dermatitis. It can affect other oily areas too, like the face or chest. Severe cases should definitely be referred to a physician.
Okay, good to know. Beyond dandruff, what about actual infections, like fungal infections?
Right. Next up are fungal infections, medically known as tinea. Tinea is the general medical term for ringworm.
Ringworm. But it's not a worm, right?
Correct. Misleading name. It's a fungal infection, not a parasite. These are highly contagious fungal infections.
How do you recognize them?
They're usually characterized by itching, scales, and sometimes painful circular lesions. That's where the ring name comes from, the shape of the rash.
How do they spread?
They can spread quite easily through infected skin scales, shed hair, contaminated surfaces like public showers or swimming pools, and unclean personal articles like combs, hats, or towels.
Yikes. Is there a specific type for the beard area?
Yes, Pinea barbi. That's a superficial fungal infection, chiefly affecting the bearded area of the face and neck. Like other tinnias, it's highly contagious and absolutely requires medical treatment.
So if a barber sees that,
Stop the service immediately. If a client shows any signs of suspected or confirmed tinea any type, they absolutely must be referred to a physician and cannot receive services in the barbershop until it's cleared up. It's a health and safety issue.
definitely. Okay, what about parasites? Lice.
Ugh, yes. Parasitic infestations are another category. Pigillosa capitis is the technical term for an infestation of the hair and scalp with head lice.
Everyone dreads that call from school.
Right. Lice feed on blood from the scalp, which causes severe itching. And interestingly, head lice can actually survive away from the human body for up to 48 hours on bedding, hats, furniture.
So they can spread easily. Can barbers treat it?
Absolutely not.
Hmm.
Any occurrence of head lice must not be treated in the barbershop. The client needs to be discreetly informed and referred to a physician or pharmacist for appropriate treatment products.
Okay. Any other parasites?
Another one is scabies. This is a highly contagious skin disease caused by tiny mites different from lice that burrow under the skin.
Burrow. Oh, God.
Yeah, it causes intense itching, often worse at night, and characteristic track-like burrows or rashes. Like lice and tinea, clients with this condition should also be referred immediately to a physician. No services.
Got it. Okay, last category. Bacterial infections.
Right. Bacterial infections. Folliculitis is a common one, basically an inflammation or infection of the hair follicles themselves. It can occur anywhere on the body where there's hair.
Is there a specific type for the beard, like barber's itch?
Yes, folliculitis barbi is often colloquially known as barber's itch, though that term is sometimes used loosely. It's a bacterial infection of the hair follicles characterized by inflamed pustules, little pus-filled bumps in bearded areas of the face and neck, often caused by Staphylococcus bacteria.
Sounds uncomfortable.
It can be. Now, sometimes confused with it is pseudofolliculitis barbi.
So false folliculitis.
Kind of. It's more commonly known as razor bumps. This is a chronic inflammatory condition, but it's caused by ingrown hairs, not primarily bacteria, although secondary infection can occur. The hairs curl back or grow sideways into the skin.
Ugh, ingrown hairs. Painful.
They can be, and it can really resemble folliculitis with the bumps and inflammation. While it can affect anyone, it's most often seen in men and women with naturally curly hair patterns, common in Mediterranean, African, Hispanic, and Jewish ethnicities.
What causes it?
It can be caused by improper shaving techniques, shaving too close, against the grain, or when hair breaks off below the skin surface and then grows inward.
Is there anything people can do?
Yes, adjusting shaving methods helps. And there are over-the-counter preparations, often containing salicylic acid or glycolic acid, available that can help exfoliate the skin and prevent ingrown hairs.
Okay. Any other bacterial things?
A couple more serious ones. Psychosis vulgaris, also called psychosis barbae, is a chronic, deeper bacterial infection involving the follicles around the beard and mustache area. This definitely requires medical treatment.
Boils.
Right. A furuncle is what most of us just call a boil. It's an acute bacterial infection of a single hair follicle, producing constant pain, and a localized pustule. And a carbuncle is similar, but larger. Essentially a cluster of interconnected furuncles, a deep-seated bacterial infection spreading into the skin.
Ouch. Those sound serious.
They are. Both furuncles and carbuncles are significant infections and should always be referred to a physician for proper treatment, potentially lancing, and antibiotics. Don't try to handle those at home or in the shop.
Absolutely. Okay, wow, that's a lot of potential issues. This is exactly where understanding all these intricate details becomes incredibly practical for a professional barber or stylist.
Couldn't agree more.
They perform a thorough analysis before touching your hair with chemicals or even scissors, right? To ensure proper care and safety.
Yes, the ability to perform a comprehensive hair and scalp analysis is truly a cornerstone of professional service. It's not just a quick glance. This knowledge and skill are acquired through careful observation and practice, engaging multiple senses.
Multiple senses, like
Yeah.
what?
Well, four main ones. First, there's sight.
Okay, looking.
It's not just looking at the hairstyle, but really seeing visible conditions. Is the hair dry? oily, lifeless,
Mm.
damaged. And for the scalp, it's an initial observation for redness, flakes, bumps, moles, warts, any cuts or abrasions, or crucially, any signs of parasites.
And if they see something bad?
Safety first. It's absolutely crucial not to proceed with chemical services like color or perms. If irritation or abrasions are present, it could burn or cause injury. And never, ever begin any service if parasites are spotted. That requires immediate referral.
Okay, sight. What else?
Then there's hearing. This means actively listening to the client.
What they say about their hair.
Exactly. Listening as they share information about their hair's history, their daily routine, their health, their experiences, good and bad, with different products or services. All these verbal clues are incredibly important pieces of the puzzle when deciding the best approach.
Makes sense. What's next?
Smell. You might not think about it, but certain scalp disorders, particularly infections, can create a distinct odor. A healthy, clean scalp, on the other hand, should be relatively odor-free. It's another subtle clue.
Huh. Never thought of that.
Yeah.
And the last sense.
And finally, touch. The sense of touch is arguably the most crucial for analyzing the hair's condition and texture. Feeling the hair's diameter, its smoothness or roughness, its dryness, its elasticity. This needs to be developed to its fullest capacity through experience to truly understand the hair's feel and provide professional service.
So when a barber is doing this analysis, looking, listening, feeling, what specific aspects of the hair itself are they evaluating?
Good question. They primarily observe and consider 4 key characteristics:
Right.
hair texture, hair density, hair porosity, and hair elasticity.
Okay, let's break those down. Hair texture.
Hair texture refers to the coarseness or fineness of the individual hair strands. It's basically measured by the diameter of each strand.
So thick strands or thin strands?
Exactly. We usually classify it as coarse, medium, or fine. Coarse hair has the largest diameter. It tends to be stronger, but it may also require more processing time or stronger products for chemical services. It can be more difficult for lighteners, colors, or waving solutions to penetrate that thicker structure.
Okay. Medium.
Medium hair is the most common texture and is generally considered normal. It usually accepts products and processes predictably.
And fine hair.
Fine hair has the smallest diameter. It's generally more fragile, easier to process chemically, but also more susceptible to damage from those same chemical services or even just heat styling. We mentioned earlier some very fine hair even lacks that central medulla layer entirely.
Right. Is wiry a texture type too?
Yes, wiry hair is sometimes considered a subset or a specific characteristic. It feels hard, maybe glassy, and the cuticle scales tend to lie very flat and compact. This type often takes longer for chemical services to penetrate and process.
Okay, texture. Next was density. That sounds like how much hair you have.
Precisely. Hair density refers to the number of individual hair strands per square inch of scalp area. It's different from texture, which is the diameter of each strand. Density is how many strands.
So you can have fine hair, but high density.
Absolutely. You could have thin strands, but a lot of them, making the hair look thick overall. Or coarse strands, but fewer of them, low density. We usually classify density as thick, high density, average, or thin, low density.
What's average?
On average, the scalp has about 2,200 hair strands per square inch, and the average head contains roughly 100,000 strands in total.
Wow. Does it vary by natural hair color?
Interestingly, yes, there are general correlations.
Yeah.
Natural blondes usually have the highest hair density, more strands per square inch, though often finer. Redheads tend to have the least density, the fewest strands, though their strands are often coarser.
Fascinating. Okay, texture, density. Next was porosity.
Hair porosity. This is all about the hair's ability to absorb moisture, and it's directly related to the condition of that outer cuticle layer.
How open or closed the scales are.
Exactly. Low porosity hair is considered resistant. The cuticle is very compact, lying flat and tight. It absorbs the least moisture, feels smooth, but can be difficult for chemical treatments to penetrate. It might require more alkaline solutions or longer processing times.
Okay. Average porosity.
Average porosity is considered normal. The cuticle is slightly raised, allowing moderate moisture absorption. Chemical applications generally process as expected with this type. It's usually hair that hasn't been overly processed.
And high porosity. That sounds bad.
It often is. High porosity or overly porous hair usually means the cuticle is damaged and overly raised or even missing in places. This is often the result of previous overprocessing, too much chemical work, heat damage, environmental factors.
What's it like?
This hair is often dry, feels rough, looks dull, is fragile and brittle. Now, ironically, it may absorb liquids very quickly because the cuticle is so open, but that damaged state makes it incredibly difficult for the hair to retain moisture or color. Color might fade quickly, and it might react unpredictably or unfavorably to chemical texture surfaces like perms. It needs gentle handling and conditioning.
Right. Okay, texture, density, porosity. Last one was elasticity.
Hair elasticity. This is a really important indicator of hair health. It's the hair's ability to stretch and then return to its original length without breaking.
Like a rubber band.
Sort of, yeah. It tells us about the strength of those crucial side bonds, particularly the disulfide bonds within the cortex.
So what's normal elasticity?
Hair with normal elasticity will stretch significantly. Healthy wet hair can stretch up to 50% of its original length, and then importantly, it will snap back to its original length without breaking. This hair tends to hold curl well from styling.
And poor elasticity.
Lower pore elasticity means the hair is brittle and breaks easily, maybe even when you just comb it gently. Or it might stretch but then fail to return to its normal length, staying stretched out or limp.
What causes low elasticity?
It can be due to chemical damage from overprocessing, breaking down those internal bonds. But it can also be linked to poor nutrition or even underlying internal health disorders. It's a key sign the hair is weak or compromised.
Wow. So much to consider just by looking and feeling. Okay, what an incredible deep dive this has been.
Yeah.
Right into the fascinating world beneath and above your scalp.
It really covers a lot of ground, doesn't it?
It really does. We've journeyed from those tiny little muscles that give you goosebumps all the way to the powerful chemical bonds that define your hair's strength and structure.
And we've uncovered the intricate cycles of growth, the complex reasons behind hair loss, and all those various scalp conditions too.
This exploration truly highlights that your hair is far more than just, a visible accessory.
Absolutely. It's a dynamic living system. Well, the root is living, constantly interacting with your internal health and your external environment. It's really a remarkable part of your body.
It offers so many clues about your overall well-being if you know what to look for.
That's right.
So next time you look in the mirror, or maybe even just run your fingers through your hair, consider this. What stories is your hair telling about your unique biology? And what might it reveal about your overall health?
It's a great question to ponder.
Keep observing, keep learning, and keep wondering.